Good morning, lovely friends. How are you all today? I do hope you're well. I hope you've had a chance. It's just been a bank holiday weekend here in the UK, and I hope you've all had a chance to make the most of the gorgeous weather we've had and get out into your gardens. My goodness, what a busy bank holiday weekend that was for me. So on the Friday I did quite a bit of work in my garden, and on the Saturday, as you will have seen from that last video, in the end I was here for about, I think it was about 8 hours in the end for our work party. About an hour of that was my own time, but oh my goodness, on the Sunday, the day after, I could barely move. I got up in the morning, or I sort of woke up, and the first thing I do, like anybody else, I went to the bathroom to make water, as it were. I could hardly walk to the bathroom. Oh my goodness, but you know, it was so worth it. It was such a great day. So that day, so actually on the Sunday and the Monday, my legs were really scuppered. Actually, my wrists were really sore too. So I stayed at home and did loads of work from home, sewing, shop stuff, what have you. So yeah, it was a really busy, packed weekend. But actually, very little of it was attending to my own garden. So I'm going to start with a couple of little jobs this morning. But I'm not going to really get stuck into anything big because, and to me this is one of the joys of having this garden, because I don't have any outside space at home. I've got 2 of my ex-nurse chums coming to visit with me today. So we're going to have a little picnic in the garden. Yay, I can't wait. One of them is coming with her nearly 15-month-old daughter, who's an absolute cutie. And the other one is very heavily pregnant. I've told her you're not allowed to give birth on site. I'm not a midwife. If it happens, I'm sure with a combination of all of our nursing skills and my girl guiding, I'm sure we'll cope, but I'd rather that doesn't happen. But can you imagine that as a story? As a child growing up, to say, I was born on an allotment. Yeah, hopefully that's not going to happen. So yeah, just going to start on a few little jobs this morning. If you can hear a buzzing in the background, so sweet. We've got someone, one of those plots we worked really hard to clear of rubbish and plastic at the weekend. Someone's going to come and view it today, so hopefully we'll get a new allotment buddy. But it is a little bit overgrown, so one of my friends down here, he's just going to give it a quick trim just to make it look a little less daunting for someone new to take on. We've managed to cover about half of it. We had a massive tarp, so we've covered about half of it. But yeah, so he's going to be buzzing away in the background as I work this morning. But otherwise, I mean, when I arrived, it's just so quiet, it's beautiful. And I think actually sometimes it's quite a nice contrast. It was so busy here on Saturday, so many folk. It was, I mean, a fantastic atmosphere, as I said in the last video. But then it's nice, as a kind of counterpoint to that, to come to the garden and have it pretty much to myself and for it to be quiet. So yeah, as soon as this trimming's finished, it'll just be me and my other buddy on site until my friends get here. Now, before I go into the garden, I've got another thank you to say. See my new friend in the corner here? This was knitted for me, a little knitted dog by Jean. Thank you so much, Jean. I went all around the houses trying to pick a name, but I kept coming back to Hector. Now, I'm actually a little bit young to remember Hector's house. I don't remember it, I've only ever seen it as an adult, but this is Hector. And what I loved, Jean's note, as she said, here you go, here's a dog to keep you company in the garden, but one that doesn't have any vet bills. Because as I was saying, I really want to adopt another dog, but financially it's just not viable at the moment. And you know, having a dog is a huge commitment, and unless you can absolutely make that commitment for probably at least 10 years, then you shouldn't go into it. So anyway, I've got little Hector to keep me company. So cute. The cats haven't seen him yet. Okay, so I think it's time to get into the garden and start doing a few bits and bobs of jobs before all the girls turn up. I hope you're going to be able to hear me over the strimmer. I was going to wait until it's done, but it's actually quite a big job, so I'm just going to have to get on and we'll just have to ignore it as best we can. Okay, so broad beans. They're all starting to pod up. If I come down to floor level, you can probably see how tall they're getting. So now is the time for me to give them a bit of support. Excuse me, a little tickle. Big tickle. And I'm going to try to show you in here, for those of you who haven't grown them before, what goes on with the pods. So here we have some little flower buds starting. As we go down the plant, the flowers are more and more mature. They came earlier. And then right down at the bottom, so we see where this, oops, this is a bit of a reach. This is the dead flower. But underneath, I'll just try and do this very gently. Can you see that? That is the pod forming. So look at it. Oh, sorry, wobble wobble. In comparison with the size of my finger, that is going to be bigger than my finger in the end. There's a few more down here. Oh, lovely little pods forming. I don't normally pull the flowers off like that. It's just purely so that I can show you today. There it is. Gorgeous. Yeah, you don't need to take the flowers off. Of course not. They will just fall off as the pod's developing. So yes, time to get them tied up and supported a bit, because they will now start to get really quite top heavy and start flopping over the path. And then if we have some big gusts of wind, because this site is very open and I get wind coming across this way all the time, plus because they go over the path, don't know if you can see down there, I've already had a strimming accident. I seem to strim at least one of my broad beans every single year. So let's get on with tying them up. Good morning, Rusty. Can I help you? Are you after something? Yes, I know what you're after. Oh yes, wind around my legs and head off in the direction of the shed in the hopes of getting something. Alternatively, sit there and watch me as I work. Okay, let's get some ties in place. You could, of course, do this as you sew them, but I find that because I give them that cover over the winter, there's not actually enough room for me to put any sticks in under those covers. So better now, before they get too heavy with their beautiful pods. Just do it in little sort of thirds sections, so I'll tie these together. Oh, that's nice, isn't it, when the string starts? Yeah. Get this clump tied together, get the next clump tied together, and then the clump after that. Oh, ground's tough there. Let me find another hole. String. And then when the quiet descends again, oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. Simple as that. This now, this quiet. This is what I mean about whoop-la. It's so lovely to be here at the work party weekend when everyone's here and everyone's full of energy and enthusiasm. But then it's lovely to come a couple of days later and just have this, apart from that pesky aeroplane. Right, more sticks. Another little quiet job to get on with today is to attend to my French lavender. The difference between the two, I'll give you a shot in a second, between the French and the English is quite remarkable. The English lavender is much bushier, it seems much happier. It had a big prune at the end of last season, at the back end of last autumn, of course, when I was harvesting. That's getting a prune at the same time. When I came to do the French lavender, it was actually really hard to tell whether parts of it were actually dead or not. So I held off. I did a little bit of pruning where I could tell for definite what was going on, but otherwise I left it because I just wasn't sure. So now where it's starting to green up again, I can see what's dead. So I can get in there, and again, like with all of the woody herbs, as you're going into the plant to do your pruning, only cut back as far as where you can see a little bit of fresh new green growth. Don't go further back than that because the chances are it won't sprout again. What's also really pleasing me down here is I planted masses, can you see from that? I planted masses and masses, or sowed masses and masses of chives last year in between each clump of lavender. The hope was that last summer, before the lavenders got established, the chives would come up and give me a little bit of infill in that sort of hedge. They didn't show, and I thought they weren't going to. But amazingly, there's masses and masses and masses of them have come up. Well, I say masses, not as many masses as I'd hoped for, or certainly not as many as I'd sowed, but at least it's something, especially on this French lavender side, which I have to say, it is quite disappointingly straggly and threadbare. Actually, let me just show you the difference between the two so you can see what I'm talking about. So here we have the English lavender, looking beautifully bushy and healthy, and you can see by this sort of slightly darker green, or the more vivid green as opposed to the silver, that's all new growth this year. So they're doing beautifully. So if we go from the English lavender, I'll show you on this one over here, to the French lavender, considerably less bushy, considerably more straggly, considerably more disappointing. From that to that. Oh well, never mind. This one looks slightly better. That's a real straggler, but this one is looking a little bit better. What is it with the aeroplanes today? And as I was just mentioning about the chives, let me just show you. Oh, it's a helicopter, not a plane. So this is the one I was just doing a bit of a prune on. And you can see, and hopefully it will really start to pick up this year. So here's all of the growth that was already there, but then if you look into the bottom, there's lots and lots and lots of little green shoots down there, so hopefully they'll bush up this year. Well, there's my first little clump of chives, and look, the first flowers. But also, in terms of flowers, the sweet Sicily. And I can't help but think it's because of this sudden heat we've had. I would rather it grow a bit more and wait before starting to put its flowers out. And look, all the little calendula I scratched in, they're all coming up. Ah, yes, I'm very much looking forward to this bed again this summer. Considerably more filled out than it was last year. And actually, just here as well, you can see, let me come to the end to show you what I mean. If I look at the path, you can see I did this path mid-February. Where are we now? Mid-April, so about 2 months ago. And you can see already how this is the hyssop. This is hyssop and St John's wort. And then just down there, that's chamomile, how they're just starting to fill out now and flop over the path. And that was the whole idea. Ah, and while I'm pointing at the drinking station as well, do remember to keep your drinking stations and whatever you've got for your wildlife topped up. I also leave a bowl of water out at the moment for the foxes and the cats too. Speaking of which, oh Rusty, don't spray. You are a pesky little boy, aren't you? Off he saunters. Okay, well I need to move on to the next lavender, which is going to be this one, and carry on with my pruning, and I'm sure it would look much happier once all that dead stuff is cut out. Can you guess what my next job is? Oh my goodness, masses and masses and masses of these precious things gathered over the last I think this is about 4 months. I think this is since the new year. Yes, it's time to sow some more seed. Let me get these all filled with compost and then I'll show you what I'm up to. So, I started filling my loo rolls. They're mostly full, but I lost track of time, and the next thing I know, I get a phone call. We're at the station, where are you? So, like I was saying, one of the really lovely things, oh, oh dear, this looks like the perfect moment to have captured. Little miss, were you drinking my beer? So how lovely to have a garden and be able to do this. So this is my friend Heidi. Heidi, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. How's the bump?
It's good. Cooking nicely.
Heidi's eaten so much food today. Kidding. How many months are we?
7.5 months.
Yay!
3 weeks.
But you're not going to have the baby on the plot, are you?
No, hopefully not.
And then over here we've got our lovely Lynn.
Hello.
Yay! And her little pickle. Say hey, Amber.
Hey, Amber.
This is Amber, as in Amber's rinky-dink pink bunting, our namesake. So yeah, we're having a little bit of a picnic today, and a little bit of a catch-up on old times. Do you miss me at work, you two?
Yeah,
Loads.
so much.
Yeah, what do you miss?
We miss the singing and the the farting.
Oh, you got... I can't believe they've just dobbed me in. Oh my goodness. I was actually joking about do you miss me? I miss you too so much. I'm going to come and sit down again. And oh, look at my lovely flowers that are... I don't have a vase in the allotment, so they're just in there for now. But yeah, no, I miss these guys like mad. I miss the job. Can I help you? Are you going to do some planting? She's actually had a bit of a face clean because a minute ago it was covered in dirt. But yeah, so I think it's time for us to get on with our grub. Is that right, Miss Linny?
Absolutely.
So we're going to eat, we're going to drink. Well, I'm the only one who's drinking, but I was gifted a lovely bottle of beer. So yeah, we're going to carry on with our food and drink and catch up with you.
Oh, where's she off to?
Yes. Are you going to do some watering, little one? Oh, she's so cute. I might see if I can get her to sow some seeds for me later. Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Right, cheerio for now. Well, we've just had a lovely visit from my neighbour Sheena next door. You'll have seen her in my videos before. She's the lady with the eye patch. And she's just brought over these two lovely books. One for the bump and one for little Pickle, who's, oh yeah, she's happy now. But this is Sleepy Time Play Songs. This is actually by Sheena, my next door neighbour. So it's a beautiful little book full of songs to do with actions for all times of the day. And in the back, let me just find it, I think. Yeah, and in the back there's the little CD of the songs. So what a lovely, lovely gift from Sheena to the two girls today. Yay, thank you, Sheena. I mentioned to her yesterday that the girls are coming over today with a out of belly baby and an in belly baby. So she's just popped along with these. I'm just trying to think or see, she's put a card with it, if there's somewhere that you can actually go online and, there we go, play songs, publications. So any of you with little ones, I think it's for sort of probably under twos, either little ones of your own or with grandchildren, pop along to that little address I just showed you and have a look at my lovely neighbour Sheena's play songs. Yay! Is it sleepy time, Amber? Is it?
It's time to eat mud.
Yeah, okay, let's go and eat some mud. Yeah! Well, that's been an absolutely gorgeous visit from my friends and the little one waiting to be, but how wonderful. It stopped all the work in the garden for this afternoon. I don't care, I'll catch up another day. It's, actually, that's where I did, see, I did get a whole, excuse me, excuse me, yeah, a whole tray of loo rolls filled and ready. But actually we've just chatted and chatted and chatted, and isn't that important in life? It's more important to me, or is it equally? Oh, I don't know on a scale of importance, but the fact is, obviously the garden is really important to me. Growing my own food is really important to me. But my friends, oh, they are everything to me. So I am more than happy to talk till the light's fading rather than get on with the garden. So it's a real quickie from me today because of that. But got a few little bits and bobs of jobs done this morning, a couple of things I wasn't even filming at the time, so yes, it's good to get all those little things done, and at least all these loo rolls are now ready for sewing, which I'll do in the next video, so we'll just keep that till then. I've had a couple of beers this afternoon with the girls, feeling I've only had a couple, but I don't know, there's something about company, isn't there, that just makes you half doolally. We've eaten so much food, it's gorgeous. There's a bit left over, I'll take it home. I'll make it last for a few more lunches this week. So there we go, a very quick one today, but I just feel great for spending time with friends and a little one. We've had so much fun in the garden today. Oh my goodness, I've sent her home so filthy dirty, but that's okay because her mum has the same attitude as me, that kids playing in dirt, brilliant. So I need to do a little bit of tidying up of our food table. I need to go and water a few seeds. I'm also going to water Sheena's greenhouse for her as a small, teeny tiny thank you for the 2 beautiful books she gave to the unborn and to our little girlie. How lovely, how utterly lovely. Yeah, so I'm going to get on with my last couple of little bits and bobs, and I think coming back tomorrow before too much of the rain starts to crack into a load more sewing. So for now, I'm going to say cheerio to you all. I hope you're having fun, whatever you're getting up to in your gardens at the moment. And I hope your gardens are places that you get to share with your friends too, because isn't that just utterly lovely when we can? So I will see you all really soon again, I hope. In the meantime, get out there, be with your friends, relax, chill, whatever, and take care of yourselves.